We've definitely seen a lot of potential out of this team. We got a lot of great athletes, a lot of great soccer players who are technically gifted, pretty physically fit and capable. We have seen our potential, but we haven't seen our potential maximized or realized just yet. But early on in the season, we don't expect to be running full steam. We definitely want to see the things that we work on in training executed on the field properly, but we have improved after each game, and that's been really exciting to see. The guys learn pretty quickly, and they're able to implement the things that we work on, and they're able to put that out on the field, and we're excited about each game, each training, and getting better continuously.
You talk about maximizing potential. As a coach, obviously you want that potential to be maximized tail end of the season, not
Correct.
beginning of the season.
Correct.
How do you kind of, as the head coach, go about making sure that that happens?
Well, we do quite a few things, but one big thing is we do video analysis. So we watch our matches, and guys are able to critique themselves. We're able to critique the team, ourselves as coaches, so we can look back at things that we did well, things we didn't do quite as well, and make sure we fix that on the training ground. As you said, we got the big win over Triton, but we played probably our worst game of the season in getting that win, and the guys knew it, so they didn't feel satisfied in their performance. They felt satisfied with the victory, and they're proud, and I'm proud of them. But they knew they had a lot of things that they needed to work on, and we as coaches had things that we needed to improve and make sure that we could take that next step, because it was good but not good enough. So they're hungry, and they're able to push themselves as well. So it's not just on us to say, hey guys, it's not good enough. They aspire to more because they believe that they're pretty capable of some good things.
Year one to year two, make the comparison. Your first year as a coach to now, how have you grown as that head coach? How has this team grown in comparison to that first year?
Again, you go back to video analysis. We had half of our matches recorded last year, so I was able to watch those over and over during the off season, probably too many times. But I was able to look at some of the things that we did in games and think of different ways to make an improvement in the training process. So I was also able to recruit players earlier in the season, so try to get them up to speed academically where they need to be. So building the program in that sense is a little bit easier year two, because I know some of the pitfalls and some of the things that we're going to run into and some of the challenges, and we're able to meet those head on and have answers for them, as opposed to spending 2-3 days trying to research the problem research the solution to a problem that we might have with one of our student athletes. So being able to get the guys in to fit the right pieces that we needed with the players that we had coming back, players who understood our system and knew it, and then add those new pieces to it. So I think just more awareness about our program, building on the success of last year. We wouldn't have the numbers that we have. We wouldn't have had this team if it weren't for the guys last year who really worked incredibly hard to make last season a relative success. So they kind of put the program back in the spotlight a little bit, and that really generated a lot of interest, and we got a lot of good guys out here because of what happened last year.
Every coach, every team sets goals beginning of the year. What were the goals, and how do you go about achieving those, obviously step by step?
All right. Goals are the exact same as last year. They were lofty then. They're going to be lofty still. Our goal is to get to a national tournament. So until we get that, that's always going to be our main goal, and all the players buy into that. They buy into it right away, and we understand that we need to improve. We need to be successful against D1 and NC 2A schools that we face, because that's the level of competition that we're going to face in our conference and beyond. So players understand we need to have good results against those teams, and we need to take things pretty seriously when we're training so that we can put together good products on the field. So we know that we need to improve. Whatever mistakes we make, we can't make those same mistakes twice, because that's going to get punished later on in the season. So these guys know that our eyes are on that prize, and as long as we're clicking by the end of the season, we should be good.
Now, what gives you, as a now second-year head coach, I guess kind of that confidence to set a lofty goal? Because some guys in your position might come in and say, well, it's only year two. We're looking to, win the conference or win X amount of games in conference, something like that. What makes you, as a head coach in just the second year, set a goal of a national tournament?
Well, I'm a pretty competitive individual, so I don't feel like setting a small or minimal goal would be in my best interest or in the players' best interest, because we have a lot to shoot for, and the confidence comes from last year finishing a pretty good season and losing by one goal to the team that eventually won our region in the semifinals. So getting to the semifinal with a team that wasn't quite as strong technically as this team is gives me a lot of confidence in our ability ability to go just as far, if not further, than we did last year. So looking at what we had last year and building upon that, I feel definitely confident that we can do it if we do what we're supposed to do on the field. And it's it's definitely with all respect to our opponents, who are outstanding opponents, and it's, you know, with no slight to anyone else, but just belief in ourselves and belief that we can put together a team that's going to be extremely competitive and hard to beat.
Biggest strength of this year's group that you've seen so far?
Biggest strength would just have to be versatility. We got a number of guys who can play in different positions on the field. They're very versatile, very flexible and adaptable, and they'll take whatever information we give them, whether it's brand new or whether it's something they've played with for years, and they'll buy into our system pretty quickly. So we've moved players around, and we've had some really good looks in different formations because of the adaptability of our players.
Finally, talk about the conference, how strong it is. You talked about Joliet winning the region last year.
Yeah.
What do you see, or what do you know? I mean, this is only your second conference game coming up here against Rock Valley. What do you know of the conference entering year two?
Well, we're playing Rock Valley, and they've got a coach who's been coaching for about 30 years. He's coached at the NCAA D1 level. He's just told me they had about 80 guys show up to tryouts. So he's got a pretty big pool to draw from. And they upset Joliet earlier this year with a 1-0 win. We beat Triton with a 1-0 win. Doesn't mean those teams aren't still as strong as they've been for the last 5-6 years. Harper's coming out pretty nice and strong. They've got a brand new head coach, who I'm sure is wanting to impress as well. He's been coaching high school for at least the last 14 years or so. So we've got some new coaches with a point to prove, I'm sure, and who are excited about getting their teams going. We're excited about getting our team going, and we've got Triton and Joliet who are excited to try to keep the success that they've had with the continued coaching staff and with the stability that they've had over the last decade or so. So it's definitely going to be competitive, and I'm really excited about that because, you know, if we win this thing, whoever wins this thing will have definitely earned it, and it's kind of a slugfest. It's like Big Ten football or basketball. You know, you don't come out of this thing without being bruised, but if you do, you're better off for it. So we're definitely excited because we know we've got a high level of competition with all of our opponents, and we feel that we match up pretty well.